The Girl in Room 105, An Unloved Story by Chetan Bhagat, Part 2. Chapter 13. Stop being so self-conscious, Sarah said as we reached Western Greens, a super upscale farmhouse, only neighborhood located along the Delhi-Gurgaon border. We had taken an Ola, the mobile app made taking a cab to anywhere easy. The IITN founded Indian company was already valued in billions. Why couldn't I think of an idea 1,000 of this level? Why couldn't I even get a proper job or make a proper tie knot? This tie has a life of its own, I grumbled. The suit was unnecessary. You are only meeting my family. It is not an interview. They see me in a suit. They believe I am a professional. Otherwise, the moment I mention IIT tuitions, it is over. It is not tuition. You are faculty in a cutting-edge test preparation center, Sarah said. When Sarah put it like that, my career didn't seem as horrible. That is why I loved her. She saw the best in everything, including the pretty, ordinary me. A watchman opened the gate as our wagoner entered her mansion. This is your house? And you still live in a tiny hostel room? I said, as I noticed a garden the size of a volleyball court in front of her half-acre bungalow. I love my room 105. Is my life. You can have a good life here too. It is much better to be on campus. Commuting is a pain. Okay. Final checks. Master. Ties. Belt. Shoelaces and nerves. All good. Sarah pinched my nose. Have I mentioned that she was always pinching my nose? Most annoying. Can I serve you some more? Ghost Safdar said in his thunderous voice. We were seated for lunch on chairs that resembled the thorns in mythological TV serial. Safdar was at the head of the 18-seater dining table. He was wearing a black bangla with 2 gold bracelets, a Rolex watch on his left wrist. His French beard was dyed black. His wife, sitting to my left and said little sofa, her pink silk salwar kameez, dupatta half covering her head, and her diamond and jade necklace, which probably cost as much as one of the small apartments they keep advertising on the Dwarka-Gorgon Expressway. Spelt upper crust. Her hair looked naturally black. I figured she was no more than a decade older than Sarah. No sir, I am quite full, I said, even though I didn't eat much meat. I had made an effort to do so today. I had to fit into Sarah's family. So Sarah tells me you and she have a lot of dosti, Safdar said, eating his biryani with an ornate fork and knife. Unlike idiot me, Sarah had already spoken to her parents and prepared them in advance. Hence, unlike the electric shock I had given my mother and father, Sarah's parents seemed calm. At least they hadn't threatened suicide yet. We sort of kinda like each other, is what she had told them. Unfortunately for native Hindi speakers like my parents, there was no equivalent word for sort of or kinda. I don't think my father was a sort of kinda gay anyway. Sir, I said as I cleared my throat to speak. You don't have to call me sir. Can I call you uncle or Mr. Lone? Uncle is fine. So tell me about your dosti. We had known each other for almost 3 years. We met on campus and our daughter never told us. What do you think? Zainab. Sarah joined PhD in IIT for her dost. Mr. Lone said and laughed. Zainab only responded with a half smile. Uncle, I graduated from IIT within a year after Sarah joined. I am joking. Anyway, what do you do now? I got a sinking feeling in a small voice. I said, I am faculty at a test prep company. Test prep, as in it is pretty high tech, Dad. They are working on apps to do test preparation. Keshav is part of it, Sarah said. Sarah had made it all up. The only high-tech thing Chandan Arora probably ever did was to order his Gudka online. Like an education startup? Safdar said. Uncle, I said it is bricks and mortar at present, but we are going to go online. Good. I think of investing in internet companies sometimes too, Safdar said. People care much more about Apple phones today than Apple orchards. Everyone laughed. I liked Sarah's dad. At least he made an effort to have a proper conversation. I heard you are one of the top fruit exporters from Kashmir, I said. God has been kind. Sarah brought us back to the main topic. So, as I told you, Dad, Keshav and I like each other. I can see that, Safdar said. We need our blessings, Sarah said. Oh, Safdar said, surprised. Zainab, see this up-making kid of today. How they ask their parent directly. You know, Dad, I am always frank with you. Safdar laughed, of course. So, what do you want me to do? Meet his parents? No, I burst out. What? Sarah looked at me surprised. Sorry, Sarah, I should have told you. But uncle, my parents are not supportive of this. I am sure. You can guess why. When did this happen? Sarah said. I continued to look straight at her father. Uncle, I love your daughter very much. I will do anything to make her happy. Please bless us. My parents won't, but we need at least one side to be with us. But Keshav, Sarah said and then lapsed into silence. Safdar let out a huge breath. Well, parents are important, I must say. Even I wasn't too happy when Sarah said she wanted to be with you because I am a Hindu. Yes, but I am not that old-fashioned. Relief made me stammer. Thank you, uncle. He nodded his acknowledgement. Yeah, so anyway, we can take care of that, he said. After lunch, we moved to the garden. Sarah's father and I sat on a swing. Sarah played with their dog Ruby, a German shepherd who wanted to snooze in the sun more than run after Sarah. Zainab had retired for a nap. Sarah came up to us, panting, and sat on the swing as well. Safdar spoke to me again. So tell me, what is the situation with your parents? Yes, even I want to know, Keshav, Sarah said. I told them, censoring all the anti-Muslim comments about the conversation I had with my family in Alwar. So that is why we left Alwar easily, Sarah said. You went to Alwar, Safdar said. Casual visit. Well, until I was kicked out. Nobody was kicked out, I said. It is hard to hear negative things about your parents even when they are against you. So, they hate Muslims? Safdar laughed. I looked at him, surprised. No, they have a few Muslim friends, but to have their only son marry a Muslim, that is too much for them. You want to see a person's true prejudices? Ask if they will marry their children into a community. Safdar smiled. They are nice people. Trust me, they are just scared. They love me. They will come around just right now. It is difficult. What do you suggest? Sarah said. We get married. Then I convinced them. They have little choice then. I said. You want me to let Sarah marry you without meeting your parents? Safdar said, you can meet them if you want to. It will only make things worse. Safdar sat back. If you ask me, you guys should end this, Safdar said. We can't, Sarah and I said at the same time. Safdar looked at Sarah and me. Please help us, uncle, I said. He stood up and paced around the wing twice. Say something, Dad, Sarah said. It will have to be our way. We can do a nikah. Whatever, I said. We can give you the shahada in a ceremony before or even during the nikah. Shahada, I said, hearing the word of the first time. Safdar turned to Sarah. Your dost doesn't know that he loves a Muslim girl. Dad, that is this shahada business. I don't think we need to. Of course we need to. Her father broke in. His parents will disown him. Let us do things properly from our side. But what is shahada? An oath, Safdar said. Dad, please, this is all too old-fashioned. Old-fashioned? Safdar's nose went up an inch. How dare you call it old-fashioned? You have any tummies left or not? Sarah shrugged and sat on the grass with Ruby. Sorry, uncle, I am fine with any tradition. I just didn't know, I said. This girl is mad, Safdar said. Extra modern for no reason. But what is this oath, uncle? What? Shahada. It is simple, just a couple of lines. He raised his palms and muttered something in Arabic. A nikah can't happen unless both bride and groom are Muslims. You have to convert, Safdar said. Maybe I was giddy from the swing, but I swear I felt the ground move beneath me. Would you like some tea? We have wonderful Kashmiri kahwa, Safdar was saying, as if the kahwa came free with the conversion. Trust me, I didn't expect this turn of events, Sarah said, cupping my face. I took her hand in mine and kissed the inside of her wrist. I can't convert, Sarah. Please understand. I love your religion, but I can't convert. My parents will kill themselves. So doesn't. How do we marry? I said. Under the Special Marriage Act, the Indian Constitution allows it. People from any two faiths can go to court and marry. No religion, no caste drama, just the way it should be. We do a court marriage, yeah, if you can't convert. And your parents will also not come. Forget come, I will get disowned too. And my dad will also send thugs from his warehouse to beat us up. So, fill me, no. Sarah raised her eyebrows comically. I am serious, Sarah. We can't be parentless on both sides. That is not a good start. So, convince your parents. Can't. Convert. Can't. So, we have to give them up for the sake of our love. Sarah, what you even saying? Nothing. Sarah freed herself from her arms. I am trying my best, Sarah. Is this your best? I don't think so. I don't see you telling your parents. This is my girl and that is that. They are my parents, Sarah. That they will always be. But the way we are going. She stopped mid-sentence. What? Nothing. Good night. My phone rang in the staff room. I picked it up. It is Safdar. Can we talk? Keshav came. Chandan's loud call. Come to my office. His fat stomach reached the staff room before he did. I covered the phone with my hand. Chandan sir, I am on an important call. Give me 5 minutes. Important call? What? Being interviewed by other coaching centers. He said. One eyebrow raised. Sir, family, I said, moving away from Chandhan. Yes, uncle. How are you? Safdar came straight to the point. Sarah says you are not comfortable converting to Islam. No, sir, I would, sir, but my parents won't be able to take it. So forget Sarah. Stop meeting her. But uncle, stop meeting her. Stop means stop. I opened my heart to you. You betrayed us. Betrayed your parents threw my daughter out when she came as a guest. I welcomed you into my family, but you don't want to respect our wishes. Uncle, it is about one's religion. Enough, he said, interrupting me. You went to PVR with Sarah yesterday. Yes, sir, I said, wondering how he knew. And she came to your apartment afterwards. Sarah told you. I said, no, I have people who track you, and if need be, they will hurt you. But you are just a kafir, taking advantage of my precious daughter. Leave her alone, or it won't be good. Are you threatening me, uncle? I said, just to be clear, I don't threaten. I display kindness, and when betrayed, I take action for my family's honor. If necessary, I will draw blood. The word blood sent shivers down my spine. Chandhan Arora walked into the staff room again and shook my shoulder. If your loving family call is over, let us talk work. That wasn't cool, Keshav, Sarah said. I know, I said, taking a bit of falafel kebab in her friend Sanam's kitchen. We were at a New Year's Eve party at Sanam's aunt's house. Even though Sarah and I hadn't officially broken up, our relationship was beginning to resemble a war zone. We rarely met. When we did meet, we didn't talk anymore. We argued. Somehow, we ended up at the same topic. We have no future. I didn't want to convert or disown your parents. Sarah couldn't believe I wouldn't figure for us. All the party, I had told Sarah I wanted to talk to her alone. Sanam's kitchen was the only quiet place we could find in the entire house. You drunk, dialing me every week is bad enough, but how could you call my dad? Sarah said. I didn't realize it. I searched for long on my phone and ended up dialing his number. And since he picked up, you felt it was okay to yell and abuse. I avoided eye contact with her. I looked at all the party food kept in aluminum foil trays near the stove. 3 days ago, too many drinks and an accidental call had meant Safdar Lon heard some wonderful abuses from his almost had been Rajasthani son-in-law. I had screwed up and had no excuses. Still, I remembered, stupidly defiant. She continued to stare at me. I smirked. Yes, I could smirk at Sarah then. I didn't know how much this girl meant to me, or that I would be pining for her years later. However, at that time, stupid me couldn't care less. Your dad deserved it, I said. What? Didn't he threaten me and tell me to stop meeting you? I told you. He called me at work. Did I stop meeting you? Did I, Keshav? No, I said sheepishly. Didn't I give you enough chances to think about what to do? Yes, but you have started avoiding me now because you have no answers for us. It is better we stay away from each other then. Just like that? Not just like that. It is hard, super hard, Keshav Rajpurohit. I left that scholarship from MIT for you. I joined IIT just to be close to you. You think it is just like that for me? Oh, so now I am supposed to feel guilty, give up my parents and God. Because you gave up a scholarship? I don't like your tone, Keshav. I don't care. Fine, then. I will go hang out with my friends. You are the one who pulled me aside. Go wherever. I am leaving, Keshav. I know it sounds kiddish, but can we, like, officially break up? What? We kind of have already, but like, let us be clear. From now on, no contact. Sarah, are you mad? I said. I was mad. I am coming to my senses now. I got drunk and called your dad. Big deal. What do you want me to do? Say sorry. I will. Sarah shook her head. It is not just that. It is more. Anyway, no point going over it again. We are done. Bye. Sarah, I called after her, but she had already left the kitchen to join her friends. At least on that day, I had too much pride and ego to go after her. And yes, she was right. I didn't have answers, just as I had no measure of how desperately I wanted to be with this girl. Someone was shaking me by my shoulder. I am never coming to pick you up like that again, Saurabh said, continuing to shake my shoulder, switching off the past videos playing in my mind. Oh, Golu, you are here. You are my Jan, Golu. I ruffled his hair as I came back to my senses and the present moment. Apparently, I had a bill of 10 whiskies at social, which Saurabh had paid for last night. One of the waiters had used my phone to dial his number when I passed out at my table. I saw their conversations between Sarah and Raghu. Full on love, I said, as if that justified my alcoholic meltdown. They were dating, of course. They will have such conversations. When will you stop this Sarah business? What will I stop? God only stopped it. I didn't convert. That is why he punished me. Took her away right when she wanted to get back. I felt like crying again. Saurabh noticed and spoke again. Shut up. Take a shower. Teach your class. Move on, Saurabh said, a rare strictness in his voice. Did you know Professor Saxena made an indecent proposal to Sarah? Your IITian Dean? Yeah, Sarah Gate. I had an email in which Sarah says everything he did. I have to meet that bastard, I said. I stood up and walked to the bathroom. No meeting anyone, Saurabh screamed from behind. Focus on work. I will finish my classes first. Golu, relax, I said, splashing water from the tap on my face. Chapter 14. Lakshman, you will get out. It just won't happen so soon, I said. I had come to meet Lakshman in Tihar jail in West Delhi, and under trial, he was allowed to see visitors during designated hours. Sahib, my wife is alone. There is no income, Lakshman said. I am sorry, Lakshman, I said. Help me, and I will help you. We sat in the meeting area, a dingy room with several rickety chairs. What can I do for you? Lakshman said. I want to know who used to come to meet Sarah at the hostel. Her parents? Not much though. Once in 2 months. And Raghu Sahib? Once a month. He would visit Delhi. He would come to pick her up, and Sarah, madam, would leave for a few days. I sucked in my breath sharply. And Professor Saxena sometimes. When? It will all be in visitor's book. I think he came around 3 times last month. Did you hear them talk? The watchman shook his head. He would go to the common room. Sarah madam would come there. Sahib, when will I be able to go back home? Yes. What can I do for you? Professor Saxena said. He sat at his desk, face partially hidden by piles of files, books and a supercomputer with a gigantic CPU, probably used to make big data models. I know Keshav Rajpurohit sir, alumnus from here, graduated 5 years ago. Professor Saxena had thin grey hair on his head that looked like it hadn't met a comb since he had graduated. His punch remained hidden under his desk. He did not look up from his computer. I am not looking for assistance right now. Students lined up to work with Professor Saxena in the hope of a recommendation when they later applied to US universities. A nice reco letter from him would help research student earn a full fellowship at an MIT or Stanford. I don't want to be your assistant, I said. So, why are you here? He said. I still on the monitor. I want to talk about Sarah Lone. What? He said, looking at me for the first time. She did her PhD under you, right? He stared at me. I am sorry. Who are you again? He said. Keshav Rajpurohit, batch of 2013. And how are you related to Sarah Lone? She was a close friend. Really? Close friend? Professor Saxena said. You are her ex-boyfriend, aren't you? My other students told me you were the reason she gave up a wonderful scholarship at MIT. He leaned forward in his chair, forearms on the table. Yes, sir, I said, clearing my throat. The point is, I found her body when I went to wish her on her birthday. You are the boy who broke into the girls' hostel? I nodded. She had a fiancé, right? I have met him. He is PGM from here, Raghu Venkatesh. PGM referred to President's Gold Medal, given to the topper of the batch, of course. Maghu Raghu had scored straight 10 GPS, grade point average in all semesters, ensuring that nerd of the batch medal belonged to him and nobody else. Raghu is from my batch as well, doing really well. Sequoia Capital founded his artificial intelligence company. Many Silicon Valley companies want to invest. A true IIT Delhi success story. Unlike me, a true IIT Delhi failure story. I am aware, sir. Do you know anything that could help solve the murder of Sarah Lone? What? His chair creaked as he sat up straight. The watchman did it. We all saw the news terrible. The watchman didn't do it, sir. Really? Yes, sir. 100% sure he didn't. Who are you? The police? No, sir. First that inspector. What is his name? Rana bothered me. Wanted to send him team all over campus. Thankfully, he became quiet since they got the watchman. Why didn't you allow the police to come to campus and investigate? This is a place where people study, not some criminal interrogation zone. I told him to get lost, and I am sorry, but you are wasting my time too. I am helping the police, sir, since they are not allowed here. I just have a few questions for you. What nonsense. You may be allowed on campus as an alumnus, but you can't go snooping around. I can bar you from entry. No, you won't, I said in a calm but firm voice. My sudden defense startled him. Is this how you talk to your teachers? Please leave. Is it true that you propositioned Sarah? What? The professor said, his face turning white. Even though he kept up a defiant posture, his lips trembled. You delayed her thesis, asked her to sleep with you? That is nonsense. I am going to call security and have you thrown out. He picked up the intercom in his room. Don't make that mistake. I can say what I am saying to the media as well, I said. Like they will believe you. The person who breaks into woman's hostel, he scoffed, still on the phone. Hello security, send some people to my office please. Yes, unwanted person, acting as if I no longer existed. He went back to work on his computer. I opened email on my phone and after a couple of moments said, check your inbox. Why? Professor Saxena, even as he clicked his computer's mouse, he opened the email that I had forwarded to him. His mouth fell open as he read it. To Regu from Sarah. Hey love, how are you? So far away from me in Hyderabad. Today is one of those days. I really wish you were here. I tried calling you. Your secretary told me you are in meeting all day with people who have come from San Jose. Well, good luck with that. Hope they go well. Call when you can. I really need to talk. I have already told you about the creepy feeling I get from Professor Saxena. You also know how many times he has asked me out for coffee. What I haven't told you are a few more things he has done. I thought they were inadvertent or harmless, but it has happened too often now. For instance, he often comes up behind me and touches my hair when I am working on the computer. 2 days ago, he put his arm around my shoulder when I showed him a printout. Then I wrinkled away. He said, why don't we get closer? Intimacy always helps people connect. Raghu, I felt so creeped out. I wanted to jump out of his office window. I didn't know. Why didn't tell you about it right then? I guess I thought it was a one-off. But today he did it again. I went to show him an Excel sheet on my laptop and he kissed my right cheek and said I looked like a Kashmiri rose. Then I am not sure, but I think he pulled my hand towards him. Oh gosh, maybe he didn't mean to, but Raghu, it was gross. I wanna quit. But how? What do you do? I am so confused. Call me soon. This is the utter lies, Professor Saxena said, his voice quivering. It is an email from your research scholar who has been murdered. The PGM fiancé is witness, I said. I don't know what you are talking about. Hostel registers show you visited her 8 times in the last 3 months. I don't think you have ever visited any other student in their hostel. Someone knocked on Professor Saxena's door. Sir, you wanted us to come? The institute security officer said as he walked in. 2 other guards stood behind him. Actually, Professor Saxena said, we are fine, you can leave. The security officers gave us confused, irritated looking and left. What do you want? Professor Saxena said to me. Before we get into that, we all know what you want. What? Padma Vibhushan. You might even get it soon. Because I am the best in my field. I could have gone to any university in the world. I chose to stay in India. How noble of you, I said. But imagine the news. Professor Saxena harassed his PhD student. They will give you a special Padma. Then he put his head in his hand. It is amazing how amiable people became when the power balance shifted against them. What do you want, really? Professor Saxena said. I am only trying to solve Sarah's murder. Okay, so what? You think I did it? I didn't say that, but did you? Did you? You bastard? It felt strange to talk to a faculty member like this, yet oddly satisfying. What? I didn't kill anybody. What are you saying? I stood up. I leaned forward and grabbed his shirt collar. I said, not every coherently. You creep. Sarah wanted to come back to me. You troubled her, harassed her, and I don't know what else. Now you sit here only an innocent Greeky frouser to make up for my inarticulate speech. I slapped Saxena hard across his face. I held on to him, wanted to slap him again and again. However, he began to whine. Please leave. Professor Saxena said, don't hurt me. Did you kill her? No. Please let me go. I released my grip and sat back. He put a hand on his heart. I have never hurt a fly in my life. Why would I kill her? Maybe you thought that she would reveal the truth about you once she had her PhD degree, something you couldn't delay anymore. Maybe you got scared, went up to her room and killed her. No, I swear on my kids, no, he said. He pinched his throat like an 8-year-old. I stood up. If you did, better admit it, or else I will come back with the police. He shook his head and still pinching his throat, he said, I swear I didn't do it. I will see you soon, asshole, I said. I slammed the office door behind me and left. The dean, Saurabh said, walking on the treadmill at the lowest speed possible. I had finally convinced him to come to the gym with me. Can you believe it? I said. That bastard dean. You read the email, right? I did. I have 2 things to say. Saurabh said. What? I said, and increased the speed of his treadmill to 4 kilometers per hour. Slower by. It is fine. Your heart rate should go up. You weighed yourself. How much was it? 95.5. That is too much, Saurabh. I am working on it. One day I will have a 6-pack like you. Actually, I do have one. It is just hidden under some tissue. That tissue is called fat, and it is not some tissue. It is a lot of it. Anyway, now say the 2 things you had to stay. Fine, one. What my brain says, and the other, what my heart says. What? Brain says, I really wish you would stop pursuing this, even Rana said. Ideally, stay away. Screw the brain. What does the heart say? The heart says, Saurabh said and stopped the treadmill. Wait, my heart is actually racing too fast. You just started. I know, just pacing myself. Anyway, bye. My heart says, it is so freaking interesting and intriguing, really. The Dean of Students at IIT Delhi, top professor in the world, might have murdered the student. He swore on his kids, but he is a smartass. He could be acting. I lifted a 10-kilo dumbbell and handed to Saurabh. Saurabh found it too heavy and went to replace it with a 2-kilo one. I shook my head. Bye, my body is tender. You can't push it so much, so fast. Anyway, what will you do next about the dean? Saurabh said. I will meet his wife. Try to find out if he wasn't home that night. She will tell you. I don't know. I have no other way to find out. Saurabh started doing bicep curls with a weight that a toddler could pick up. Both of us looked at each other in the gym mirror. I want you to come, I said. Me, Saurabh said, surprised. Yeah, observe everything. Ask my question if you like, and later give me your view. You want me to come for something my brain says you should stay away from? Saurabh laughed. Yes, I grinned. Why do you think I would do that? Because between you and me, it is all about the heart. I love you, I said. I sent a flying kiss through the mirror and winked at him. Oh dear, professor or students, you IITians are all creeps, he said, finishing his set. Professor Saxena is not at home, said the lady who opened the door. Mrs. Parminder Saxena, I said. Yes, Mrs. Saxena said. She adjusted the dupatta over her nightie, Delhi's official housewife's dress. I took out my alumni card. I am Keshav Rajpurohit, ex-student here. This is my friend Saurabh. May we come in? It is you. We want to talk to me. This is regarding Sarah loan. Professor Saxena, student who died. Professor Saxena's wife looked left and right and then gestured us in. Chapter 15. Over a cup of tea, I told Mrs. Saxena what I know about the case so far, leaving out Saxena's antics towards Sarah for the time being, and that is why we are here, to talk to everyone who knew Sarah until we find the real killer. The police won't let the innocent watchman go, I said. But why talk to me? Said Mrs. Saxena in a bewildered way. I hardly met her. Maybe once or twice then I visited Professor Saxena's in office. She seemed like a nice girl. Was Professor Saxena friendly with his students? Saurabh said. Mrs. Saxena looked taken aback. Not particularly. He is so lost in his work. He is not a friendly person in general. A bit grumpy always, if you ask me, Mrs. Saxena said. Did he ever go meet his PhD student in their hostels? Never. He is the dean and their guide. Why would he? Mrs. Saxena said, somewhat offended by the question. Mrs. Saxena, Sir went to meet Sarah 8 times in her hostel in the last 3 months. Saurabh said, what? It is in the hostel register, I said. I am sorry to tell you this, Mrs. Saxena, but I think Sir had an extra interest in Sarah. Extra? She said, confused. At 40, Mrs. Saxena had probably led a shielded campus life. Her idea of controversy or scandal would be if the maid skipped work 2 days in a row. He wanted a relationship with Sarah, I said calmly. He propositioned her several times. What? Mrs. Saxena gasped. The whistle of the pressure cooker in the kitchen disrupted our conversation. Black dal in the pressure cooker, Saurabh said, sniffing in the direction of the kitchen. I glared at him. Mrs. Saxena exploded. Are you insane? My husband, one of the world's best researchers in this field. Then the cooker whistled again. Saurabh jumped up from the sofa. I will go turn the gas off, Mrs. Saxena, he said. 2 whistles are enough for black dal, right? She nodded grimly. I am sorry to be the one to tell you, Mrs. Saxena, I said smoothly. This is 100% nonsense. 101%. Is there any proof? She said. If the news made you uncomfortable, the proof will make you even more so. What is the proof? I held out my phone to her. She read the email quickly and returned my phone. Saurabh came back from the kitchen. All of us sat in awkward silence for a few seconds. I am not here to spoil your marriage, I said. Too late for that, she said. She picked up her phone and called her husband. Come home, Mrs. Saxena said. When he answered, no, right now, I said, come home now. I don't care about the Senate meeting. You come home now. Vineet. She turned to me. What do you want? She said. Your help in finding out the truth, I said. What truth? You have proof. You have ruined my life already. I wanted to tell her that it was the professor who had ruined things, not me. However, I decided to stick to the agenda. Your husband might have killed Sarah alone. What? Vineet. What is wrong with you? Gaze. My husband was trying to have an affair in a murderer. Please be calm, Mrs. Saxena, Saurabh said, and listen to Keshav. Mom, he had a clear motive. Sarah could have exposed him. Once she received her PhD degree, he had the opportunity. He lives on campus. He could have stepped out from home at night and walked to Himadri. He could enter Sarah's room through the window. kill her and leave before anybody found out. He could have been back in his bed, I said. You mean our bed, Mrs. Saxena said. Yes, ma'am. It is Vinith we are talking about. He went to IIT and Stanford. You really think he could do such a thing? Mrs. Saxena said. Did you really think your husband could be sexually harassing a PhD student? Saurabh said. Mrs. Saxena fell silent. Mom, this may be too much for you, but we need to know the truth. I said. What? Did your husband leave home that night? I said. Before she could answer, the doorbell rang. Mrs. Saxena got up and opened the door. Professor Saxena walked in almost in slow motion, as he had a slight limp in his left leg. What the? He screamed when he saw Saurabh and me in his house. What the hell are you doing here? How dare you come to my house? Mrs. Saxena went up to Professor Saxena. Before he could react, she hit him across his ear. Pummy, Professor Saxena said. Hand on ear. Mrs. Saxena deposited 2 more slaps in response. Hell, hath no furry like a Punjabi woman scorned. They are lying, Pummy, Professor Saxena said, almost in tears. I know, they are not, Mrs. Saxena said. Saurabh and I stood up the leave. We just had a few more questions from Mrs. Saxena. We can come back later, I said politely. No, wait, Mrs. Saxena said. Ask me now. Vinith should be here. We sat down again. Professor Saxena continued to stand. Hand on ear. Mrs. Saxena, where was your husband on the night of February 18th? What does a stupid wife like me know? He could have left for an hour while I was sleeping. No, Pummy, I didn't. I gave up my career in California for you. Vinith, you slimble. I was a senior consultant, all for your dash bhakti and research obsession. And this is what you do to me. Pummy, nothing happened. Because she didn't let anything happen, Mrs. Saxena said shrewdly, taking a step toward him with her hand raised. Professor Saxena took a step back. Please don't hit me. I will ruin you. You bloody creep. She turned to me. What do I have to do? Should I sign a document saying my husband was missing that night? No. Professor Saxena screamed and fell at his wife's feet. That would be do it right. Enough proof to put him away for life, Mrs. Saxena said. I struggled. I had no idea. Whatever you give us, we will submit to the police, I said. Professor Saxena continued to kneel on the floor. I beg you, yes, I liked her. She was beautiful and smart. I became weak, but nothing happened. And I swear on you, I didn't kill her. So who did? I said, even as his wife shrieked. Not on me. Don't swear on me, you dirty man. I don't know. Boys, go to the police, Mrs. Saxena said furiously. Did anyone see me go to the hostel that night or leave my home? I will say I did, Mrs. Saxena said. Mom, you are angry now. We want to know the truth. More than anything else, I said. Can you please think in a calm manner and let us? Mrs. Saxena interrupted me. How can I be calm? I left a $200,000 a year job for this idiot, all for these principles. I stood up to leave. We will give you some privacy. Let us go, Saurabh said. Sure, the mom. Just one more thing, Saurabh said at the door. What? Mrs. Saxena said. Don't leave the pressure cooker closed. The black dal will get overcooked. Dean Saxena, Rana said, almost choking his extra hot, full cream 8% fat milk and 100% free latte at the Hoskas Starbucks. Saurabh and I sat across from him. Inspector Rana put his cup down. He gave out a loud, Ravan-like laugh. Yes, I said in a steady voice, and you will agree. There is enough evidence. Yes, Rana said and continued to laugh. So, why are you laughing, sir? Saurabh said, still a bit afraid. Whenever he spoke to Rana, I am not laughing at you. The whole situation is so funny that us was being so righteous, not letting me come to campus. Turns out he's just a turkey frouser, Rana said and laughed again. I stirred my cup of milk and waited for the inspector to finish giggling. He spoke again. From the watchman to the dean of IIT. Wow, just look at the class jump. The media will have too much fun with this. So, we arrest him now, I said. How does it work? Not so simple. We definitely need the wife's testimony that her husband was out that night. Otherwise, I am not sure. Not sure it is a masala media story. Definitely. But releasing the watchman to arrest the dean? If we get this wrong, Delhi police will be lynched. So you won't arrest him? Get me the wife's testimony, Rana said. He checked his watch. I have to go. I have to get a haircut. We saw Inspector Rana to his gypsy. What about Sarah's email? I said. Only shows the proof was a pervent. I can't book him for murder for that. I nodded. The inspector patted my back. Not bad though. Good work. Maggie. Again. The maid has cooked gobi, aloo and chapatis. I am bored of the maid's food, I said. We stood in the tiny kitchen of our apartment. I stir-fried peas, carrot and capsicum in a kadai. I added garam masala to the vegetable and toasted them around with a ladle. On the other burner, I boiled 3 packets of Maggi noodles. Saurabh saw the quantity in the vessel and added 2 more packets. I served out my improvised value-added Maggi noodles in 2 bowls. We moved to the dining table and ate our one-dish dinner. So Mrs. Saxena declined, Saurabh said, slurping a long noodle into his mouth. Yeah, she had said it is anger. Later on, she must have reflected. Her husband might be a jerk. Just she doesn't want him in jail for murder. So no wife testimony. Yes, I said and refilled my bowl. If we have to get the proof, we need more solid evidence. The noodles are superb. By the way, Saurabh said. Thanks. I blinked. You think Saxena could have done it? If Sarah could destroy his life's work, yes, Saurabh said. He didn't show up in CCTV footage of the hostel entrance. The only other way to come up to the mango tree, I said. Yeah, Saurabh said, and since the window was open, it means Sarah opened it. Yeah, she could have. She thinks this idiot pervert has come up to the tree to wish me. Fine, a few more weeks and I am free. She opens the window. Then, Saurabh said, he enters, kills her, leaves back in bed, cuddles up to his pummy. End of story. Yeah, total add up, right? I said. Saurabh thought for a few seconds and then shook his head. What? No, not possible, Saurabh said. What is not possible? Limp. He has a limp. Saurabh said. What? Did you see? He walked in so slowly into his house. Didn't he have a slight limp? Did he get hurt recently? Not sure. Open your laptop, Saurabh said. We searched YouTube videos of Roses Saxena. Most of them were mega boring talk at engineering conferences that could also double up as videos to cure insomnia. In one from a few months back, he could see him walking up to the stage. It wasn't just that day. He has a proper limp, I said. Saurabh kept quiet as he browsed through a few more videos. He couldn't have climbed the mango tree, I said after a few minutes. Yeah, Saurabh said. It was so tough for me. If one of your legs isn't okay, impossible. It is not Saxena, I said and slammed the laptop shut. I better tell Rana. I stepped away to call the inspector. Saurabh waited till I entered the call and came back to the dining table. What did he say? That we were idiots. We would have made him look so bad if he had arrested the dean. True. Anything else? Just that. And a few affectionate Delhi abuses, I said. Chapter 16. I asked Professor Saxena to meet me in Deer Park, just outside the campus. This time he agreed immediately. He wore a blue IIT Delhi tracksuit with white stripes. He walked one step at a time, raising his left leg with effort at each step. Professor Saxena, I know, you didn't kill her. He looked at me, surprised. What? He said. Your limb saved you. You can't climb a tree. I told you, I didn't do it. Professor Saxena, neither did the watchman. He didn't. I told him about the browser history on Lakshman's phone. Our country is strange, keeping an innocent man locked up, Saxena said. I nodded. Sir, the question still remains. Who did it? How would I know? You knew her for years. You must have some theory. Have you met Sarah's family? Professor Saxena said. Yeah, her father and stepmother. Her stepmother? Sikandar. No, I heard about him a lot though, and I saw him at the funeral. Listen, I could be accused of being communal when I say this. I don't get a comfortable feeling about Sarah's father or her stepbrother. I find them shady. Why? There could be violent fundamentalists in her family, those who eliminate people at will. You mean terror groups? Well, now that you say it, yes. Sarah was far away from all that. You are basing this on something. We were in the big data server room once when I heard her talk on the phone to her stepbrother. She mentioned guns. Guns, something like, guns are not the answer, Sikandar. That could be a general statement. Trust me, it didn't sound generic. Her stepbrother seemed to be part of some group. Sarah wanted him out of it. More detail I honestly don't know. I felt scared, so I never discussed it with her. We walked out of the park. The professor went up to his car and took the driver's seat. Anything else? I said. The professor spoke after a pause. Pummy said something after the funeral. What? The parents didn't look as sad as you would expect. Not just the stepmother, but even her father. That happens though. People can be in shock. Thanks, sir, I said. That is helpful. The professor turned on the ignition of his car. It is amazing. You are trying to catch her murderer even though she wasn't with you anymore. I smiled. Now I can see why she gave up her scholarship for you, he said. His next words were almost lost under the noise of the car's engine. Ah, young love. I don't know what he meant, I said, sipping cold soda. He just said that he finds the family shady. Rana and I were on the terrace of Rasta, a bar in Huskus village. I had offered to buy Rana drinks to compensate for the Saxena fiasco. Not that the inspector had to pay at any Huskus bar anyway. He ordered a large rum and coke. I stuck to soda. Shady, like what? Cousins marrying uncles types, Rana said. No, I said. What are you saying? Saxena felt the family had connections to terror organizations. These bloody Kashmiris. Anything is possible. Sarah was not a terrorist, I said. She took me to peace rallies. All surface bullshit. Inside all violent. Rana said. He turned to his left to check out a table where three girls had just arrived. One of them, around 20 years old, was wearing a short red dress. She doesn't feel cold, Rana said, in a tone you only hear from Delhi men. I brought him back to the topic. Sarah's father has a successful business. He left Kashmir because of the strife. The inspector ignored what I said and continued to talk about the girls at the next table. These girls don't feel scared coming out of dressed like this. Then they blame the police if someone squeezes their ass. He said, I still on the girl in the red dress. I kept quiet until he had this fill of leching at them. Finally, he turned to me and grinned. Sorry, what were you saying? He said, I don't think Sarah's father is associated with any terror group. How can you say that? He could say, sympathy for them, pay them money. His previous wife, Farzana, did have fundamentalists in her family. He hated all that. That is mainly why he divorced her. Rana said. Anyway, if this is a terrorism case, it is out of our hands. The anti-terrorism squad will get involved. A far more senior officer will handle it, not a chutia like me. I didn't know whether to nod and thereby affirm that he was a chutia, or say, no way any other officer can handle it better than you, sir, and come across as a chutia myself. I decided to sip my soda instead. Drop it, the inspector said, squinting his eyes. If there are terror groups involved, they will kill you. Not worth it. So, we never find out who killed Sarah. I said too loudly. The three girls at the other table turned to look at us on hearing the word killed. Maybe it is just a simple honor killing. None of this terror business, Rana said, shaking his glass so the ice cubes would mix with the drink better. Honor killing? Sarah's father killed her, I said, shocked, or had her killed. It does happen. I have seen cases. Why? She liked to fuck Hindu boy? No. Rana said. My ears rang. All I wanted to do was take his face apart, to rip out the mouth that had uttered those words. It took all my strength to sit still. Bad idea, I told myself, to hit a policeman. Her parents liked Raghu. He was ready to convert to that Madrasi would become Muslim just to be with her, Rana said, as if Raghu had agreed to a sex change operation. Sarah's father had asked me to do the same, and you said no, Rana said. I nodded. He slapped my back. That is my brave Rajput boy. No girl is worth leaving your God. Well done. I couldn't. My parents would have committed suicide, of course. How dare they ask anyone to change their religion? I told you, they are strange. The point, Rana sir, is this. They didn't hate Raghu or Sarah having a Hindu boyfriend. They actually killed Raghu for his success. They liked that Madrasi because of his willingness to become Muslim. Well, yes, that too. I don't see any grounds for honor killing. You never know. Maybe the old man wanted her to marry someone else, a Kandani Muslim. Did you see? That old man didn't cry one bit at the funeral. That is what Mrs. Saxena said too. That Turkey Dean's wife, Rana said. Yeah, Saxena told me. I said, also now that you mention this angle, Safdar had threatened me in the past when The inspector's eyes lit up. See, you didn't tell me this. When I said I can't convert, he wanted me to leave Sarah. He told me he can hurt me or have me killed. He is just a gunda living in a farmhouse. The turkey dean is right. They are shady people. As I processed Rana's word, the inspector turned towards the three girls again. That one in the red dress, she wants it real bad tonight. What makes you think you can investigate my daughter's murder? Safdar said. His voice thundered through his giant porch. Saurabh and I had gone to visit him on a Sunday morning. I told him the story as far, until the point where we found Lakshman and Saxena innocent. All this garbage about her PhD guide. What was the need for you to fish around? Aren't you shocked, uncle, that her guide harassed her? Aren't you angry? I said, I am angry with you. You won't leave my daughter alone even when she is dead. I just want to find out who killed her. Who are you? The police? Her family? Who? I kept quiet. You and Sarah had no rishta, Safdar said through gritted teeth. Now, get out of my house and my dead daughter's life. Safdar stood up, a signal for us to leave. Uncle, don't be agitated. It will only make things worse. Saurabh spoke for the first time, his voice steady. Worse, Safdar said. What can get worse? I have already lost my daughter. What could be worse, uncle? Is people talking about an honor killing angle here? Saurabh said plainly. Cute. How he still called him uncle, all respectful even when accusing him of murder. What? Safdar said, blinking. What is wrong with your Dimag? Who is this mental friend of yours? He is my best friend, and he is not mental. He is quite smart. Please sit down, I said. Saurabh smiled. Safdar sat down again. Uncle, why did you say no to Sarah's autopsy? I said. What? And let all those haramis cut up my little girl's body? Do you even know what they do during an autopsy? Safdar said. They find out what happened, I said. What do they find out? More masala for the new channels. Saurabh had. I didn't respond. Did you see when she died how they feasted on the news? Nobody cares about Sarah or her family's feelings. What else did you want? For them to discuss if she was raped or not. She wasn't raped, I said. Nothing like that happened. I saw the body first. What if some lunatic TV anchor made it up? Do you know what the family goes through? If Safdar was hiding something, he was doing a good job of it. Uncle, I am only asking this because the question may come up. Were there you that night? I said. Safdar looked at me and spoke after a pause. At home, preparing for her birthday party. You have witnesses? Saurabh said. The entire staff of the farmhouse. They are your staff on your payroll. Anyone separately, they will all tell you the same thing. Wait a minute, are you actually accusing me? Some people might. Honor killing do happen, I said. What nonsense, he scoffed. I didn't see you distraught or in tears at the funeral or any other time. I am not an emotionally expressive person in public. My little girl, her room is still there, just as she left it. I step in and I cry alone. Don't you dare say I don't feel pain. Maybe you do, but if. What? If you are doing. I didn't do anything. I am not the kind of a person who can hurt anyone. Forget killing my only daughter. You threatened to kill me, I said. Safdar locked eyes with me. We continued to stare at each other for a few seconds before he spoke again. You think you can just accuse me of killing my own daughter? and people will believe it. So, is that it is? You didn't do it because I can't prove it, I said. Can you prove it? Let us go, Saurabh. I stood up to leave. Saurabh followed me to the garden. We passed the swing where Sarah's father had told me to take the Shahada. I almost expected Sarah to be there, running behind Ruby. I walked fast as I didn't want to cry. Stop. Safdar's voice came from behind us. I turned around. I expected to see film-style ruffians waiting to thrash us at their master's command. However, Safdar was standing there alone. Come in, he said. Saurabh and I froze. I wondered if he would take us to a dungeon and feed us to hungry crocodiles he kept in a sacred pond. Follow me, let us take in my study, he said. Safdar's study, like the rest of his house, had a Nawabi opulence. Expensive silk carpet from Kashmir adorned the wooden floor. One side of the room had a giant teak study table and oversized leather chairs. A black leather sofa set occupied the other end. Bookshelves with hundreds of books covered an entire wall. Safdar, Saurabh and I sat on the sofas. How much do you know about Sikandar? Safdar said to me. Sarah liked him a lot, I said. She was always nostalgic about growing up with him in Srinagar. She said he was a simple boy, too innocent. Safdar gave a sneering smile at me last word. And what else? He said. You discouraged Sarah from keeping in touch with him. Safdar sighed. I didn't discourage her because Sikandar is a member of TEJ, Safdar said. What is that? I said. Tehreek-e-Jihad, a separatist group in Kashmir. Separatist, as in, Saurabh said, like actual terrorists, depend on who you ask, Safdar said, rubbing his hand on his thigh. I don't understand, Saurabh said. The Indian government takes TEJ is terror group. TEJ and its supporters think they are working to liberate Kashmir. Liberate it from what? I said. From India, Safdar said. And do what? Make their own country? Well, TEJ wants Kashmir to join Pakistan. Some other group in Kashmir want independence. There are so many of them, more than 20 maybe. 20? Why so many? Saurabh said. It is usually because leaders of one organization fight over power. They break away and make their own group. Power is more important than being united for their cause, Saurabh said. Of course, who cares about Kashmiris? Anyway, you think if 20 organizations truly cared about Kashmir, the valley would be in this state? While understanding Kashmir was interesting, I had to get back to the topic. Uncle, sorry, but how is all this connected to Sarah? I fear, Safdar said. Sarah became involved with TEJ too because of Sikandar. Something happened and so they. Safdar stopped mid-sentence and sighed again. You should have told the police this so they could find out what really happened, I said. And have them label my daughter a terrorist. Sarah could not have been a terrorist. She was a smart, rational person who believed in debates and activism. She hated violence, I said. How will you convince anyone of that? Her own stepbrother is part of a terrorist organization. She went to Pakistan. It is apparently were on social media. Enough for those media vultures. Pakistan, Saurabh said. I remembered Sarah's Instagram posts from last year. She had visited a literature festival and posted pictures from there. You mean her trip to the Karachi Literature Festival? I said. I opened Instagram on my phone. She had posted 3 pictures from the Lit Fest a year ago. The first picture was a selfie as she sat in the audience at a Fatima Bhutto session. The second showed the entrance of the Lit Fest with the Karachi Literature Festival sign. The third showed her in the Selgoti at Clifton Beach at sunset. Her long hair was blowing in the wind. The dim light hid most of her face. I remembered how I had called her after seeing this picture, begging her to take me back. I forced myself back to the present moment. You mean this trip? I said. Safdar took my phone as I continued. Sarah used to attend literature festival all the time. She went to the one in Kasoli, Bangalore and Calcutta too. In fact, I went to the one in Jaipur with her 5 years ago. I have not seen this, Safdar said, his voice soft. He gently touched the pictures on the screen to make them larger. How did you get them? She posted them in Instagram for all to see, I said. Safdar wiped his tears. I miss my girl so much, he said. Unlike that, the funeral. Safdar seemed vulnerable and weak. So, help us in finding out who did this to Sarah, I said. He took his head erect. You don't understand. We are Muslim. Perhaps start with a doubt. Even both of you. You felt I could have killed my daughter. Saurabh and I looked at each other. Everyone is a suspect, uncle, until we find out who did it, I said. If the police link Tariq with Sarah's killing, she will be branded a terrorist, and me too. A rich Muslim businessman has to be a terrorist sympathizer, right? Are you? I said, my face expressionless. He looked at me, surprised. Have you lost your mind? I absolutely hate these extremists. They have ruined my state. Their actions taint all the good Muslims in this country. They killed my daughter. Forget giving them money. I will pay to get all of them killed, he said, his voice filled with anger. Saurabh and I remained quiet. Safdar spoke after composing himself. What can I do, anyway, for you or anyone else to stop suspecting me? It is not like a no anything. They did what they did. Uncle, you mentioned that Sarah's room is still as it used to be, I said. Yeah, if it is okay. We would like to search it, I said. Sarah's room in her father's house had more square footage than our entire Malviya Nagar apartment. It had a 4-poster teak bed in the center with an elaborate blue embroidered silk bedspread and several framed pictures on an enameled sideboard. The antique furniture in the room made it resemble Rajasthan's top heritage hotels. Apart from lighter curtains, her room had not changed much since I had last visited several years ago. The intricate carpet with a pattern of zinnia flowers woven into it was still there. We clean her room every day, Safdar said. She still lives here. I scanned the framed pictures. Most were from holidays with her family. One was of her and Raghu holding hand at India Gate. I saw one of Sarah as a child. She was standing next to her father, a little boy and a woman in a traditional Kashmiri kaftan. Is that Sikandar? I said. Yeah, and that is my ex-wife, Farsana. Safdar said, it is the only picture from the past that I allowed in this house. I noticed the sick antique closet. Sarah kept her clothes and other belongings here. Uncle, it is okay if we open this, I said. Safdar nodded. Saurabh and I divided 3 cupboards each between us. I opened the first closet. They held Sarah's clothes. I recognized a red and white floral print salwar kameez that I had gifted to her on our first anniversary as a couple. I felt like a trespasser as I fumbled through the box of accessories, comprising necklaces, earrings and hair clips. What do you expect to find? Said Safdar, only mildly curious. I don't know, I said as I moved to the second cupboard. Never done this before. The second cupboard had held her undergarments. I shut it and moved to the third, which had handbags and shoes. Anything? I said to Saurabh. Just clothes and more clothes. Saurabh said Sarah had 4 cupboards full of clothes. 45 minutes later, we had rifled through all her closet apart from the one with the lingerie. You checked that? Saurabh said, pointing to that cupboard. No, I don't think we should, I said. Saurabh glanced sideways at Sarah's father. Safdar was checking his phone, bored with our pointless exercise. Uncle, excuse me, Saurabh said. He pointed to the second cupboard. Can we check this one? Do whatever. If I stop you, you will doubt me. Shameless you are, going through my dead daughter's stuff, Safdar said, still busy with his phone. Sorry uncle, we just, Saurabh said before I shushed him. I opened the second closet again. It had boxes made of canvas kept on various shelves. The boxes were filled with brass and lace underwear. Saurabh lifted a few garments from a box. We don't have to go through this, I said. Fine, he said, placed the contents back in. I pushed one of the boxes back into the cupboard. It hit something hard at the back of the shelf. What is that? I extended my arm deep inside. I touched a keypad. There is safe, I said. Pull it out, Saurabh said. Safdar noticed. What happened? Uncle, there is little Godrej safe, Saurabh said. He tried to pull out the iron box from the cupboard. He couldn't. Safdar walked up to us. I remember this. She brought it online. She said she wanted to keep some jewelry and money. It is bolted to the back, Saurabh said. Yeah, of course. I got it done, Safdar said. Do you know the keypad code, uncle? I said. Safdar shook his head. There must be keys, Saurabh said. I don't have them, Safdar said. We searched the entire room for an hour but couldn't find the keys either. We will have to break it open, Saurabh said. How? Safdar said. It is just a small safe. Any hardware guy with a metal cutter can do it, Saurabh said. Clang! The front plate of the safe fell out as the fabricator shut his welding torch. He took his $1,000 for the 5-minute job and left. I emptied out the content of the safe and placed them in the middle of Sarah's bed. Safdar, Saurabh and I sat around them. I then picked up the items one at a time. The first was a passport. That is Sarah's passport, Safdar said. Should I make a list? Saurabh said, taking out this phone. Sure, I said. I dictated the contents as Saurabh noted everything down on his phone. Money in various countries. Indian rupees around 20,000 US dollars, 900 Pakistani currency, 10,000 rupees. Safdar's phone rang. It is from my godown. I need to take this call. Do what you have to. I am in my study, Safdar said and left the room. I turned and Saurabh after Safdar left. He seemed genuine, right? Or do you think he is fake it? I said. Can't say. He didn't stop us from searching though. Fine, let us keep going. Velvet pouch. Let me see what is inside. Earrings, I said as I shook out the content. Gold earrings with diamonds and other inlaid precious stones. Old traditional types, I said. Look expensive, Saurabh said as he noted the details. I went through the remaining content of the safe. A brown paper bag, I said. I turned the bag upside down. Several items fell out. Oh, condoms, Saurabh and I said in unison. And what is this? Saurabh said. He lifted up 3 white rectangular paper boxes the size of a chocolate bar. Praga News, it said on top of the boxes. These are pregnancy kits, I said. Oh yes, I have seen Kareena Kapoor advertise these. Do they help you get pregnant? No silly, they tell you if you are. Why does Sarah have these? I said. Saurabh shrugged. Each box had a small sticker on it. The sticker had a barcode and text that read, Preg kit, INR 50. Well, she was in a relationship, I said, answering my own questions. Engaged too. I swallowed the lump in my throat and picked up the next item. An Oppo phone box, I said. Opening the box, it had a call phone in it. Switch it on, Saurabh said. It took a minute for the phone to boot up. The phone connected to network, indicating it had a SIM card. No numeric lock. Sarah's phone, Saurabh said. Not her main phone for sure. She had an iPhone. What number is this? Saurabh said. To find out, I dialed myself. My phone rang. It is funny. The number starts with 92. I said, checking my phone. Bye. That is a Pakistan number. It is a Pak SIM. I threw the phone aside. There is something about Pakistan that makes you jump in fear. She had a Pak SIM. I said, let us note down the number. Anything in phone? Contact, contacts, pictures. Saurabh said. I opened the phone. It only had 3 contacts. They were S, I and W. I went to the picture library. There are some pictures from the Karachi Lit Fest, I said, going through the images. Wait, here is one of Sarah and Sikandar, a selfie. Show me, Saurabh said. He is holding a machine gun. They were sitting on the floor of what looked like a hotel room. Sikandar was holding the gun in his arms. Daman, I said, it is totally a terrorist. They are smiling. Sarah too. Saurabh said. I was in a tizzy. Was Sarah part of them? The Tehreek-e, whatever they called themselves. The room in which the picture was taken had a window. I couldn't see much apart from a lot of wires, advertisement hoardings and some ad banners. Is this also taken in Pakistan? Saurabh said. I zoomed in closer to the picture. The resolution dropped, but I could make out a couple of Devanagari words on the hoardings. Hindi ads outside. They are in India, I said. I kept the phone aside and moved to the next item. A business card, I said, in Urdu. Or this is Arabic. Saurabh shook his head as he noted down the details. He had no idea. A small plastic pouch with white powder, I said. Talcum powder, he said. Why would she keep talcum powder in a safe? Want to taste it? I said. Are you crazy? Could be cyanide or something. You never know with these terrorists. Sarah wasn't a terrorist, I almost said. But why did Sarah Lone, who I thought of as the perfect woman, had these things in her safe? A brass capsule. Wow. Is this a bullet? I said. Saurabh lifted up the tiny piece of lethal metal. Yeah, Saurabh said. What else? Some coins from Pakistan. Fine. Let us take photos. Saurabh used his phone to take several pictures of each item we had found in the safe. This is not the Sarah I know, I said. Bye. With a woman, you can never tell what is going on, he said, zooming in on the bullet. Safdar finished his call and came back to Sarah's room. Yeah, Kuda, he said, when he noticed the pregnancy kits and the bullet. What is this all? We should ask you. It is in your house, Saurabh said. Safdar picked up the phone and saw the pictures of Sarah and Sikandar with the machine gun. I swear upon Allah, I didn't know about any of this, he said. He picked up the white packet. What is this? No idea, I said. By the way, can you read this? I handed him the business card. Hashim Abdullah, Commander, Tariq-e-Jihad, Safdar said. Anything else? I said. No, no number or address. I collected all the items and placed them in my backpack. We have to take all to this with us, I said. Safdar thought of a second and then nodded. You loved her, Safdar said, as I stood up to leave. It was not a question, but I still answered yes. She loved you a lot too, Keshav. Did she? She badly wanted to be part of a family. She thought she would get that with you. But when your parents didn't like her, it broke her. I stayed silent. Did he not know this was a raw nerve? She fought with me for a year because I had insisted on your conversion. She lost you, cut off from me. That is when she became close to Sikandar again. Maybe I tried to reconnect, but she kept avoiding me. I mumbled, because even though she loved you, you couldn't give her what she craved, a stable family. Neither could I. May 3 marriage kept things unstable. She lost her mother, then Sikandar, and then you. My poor girl went through so much alone. I am sorry, uncle, I said gently. No need to tell me all this. Safdar pointed to my backpack. If this goes to the police or media, it is all over. Sarah, the girl you say you loved, will be labeled a terrorist forever. I won't go to anyone yet, because if this come out, the killer or killers will get alerted, I said. Bye. Are you serious? You are still interested in chasing the killer? Saurabh said, speaking after a long time. Why not? I said. Because terrorists are involved. They will blow our brains out too, Saurabh said. He climbed off the bed. Can we talk about this later? I said to Saurabh. There is nothing to talk. I am going home, Saurabh said, and walked out of Sarah's bedroom. Your friend is right. These people are dangerous, painful as it is. It may be better to accept they killed Sarah and just move on, Safdar said. I zipped up my backpack and slipped it onto my back. I stood up to leave. I have a problem in life, uncle. I have always found it hard to just move on. Chapter 17. Still angry. Eat something at least, I said. Saurabh and I were in the staff room of Chandan classes at lunch. He had not spoken to me for 3 years. Our home resembled a silent operation theatre. Like quiet surgeons, we went about our daily lives without talking to each other. I tried all kinds of temptations, whiskey, rasagullas, high definition porn, to get his attention. However, he refused to say a word. He didn't even shout, curse, or break things. No, when Saurabh is upset, he sulks. 2 other faculty members were eating their lunch in the staff room, sitting a few chairs away from us. I ordered fresh chole bhature. Have one at least, I said. The intoxicating aroma of fried dough and spicy chole hit Saurabh's nose, but he battled every instinct and ignored the food. He continued to read his 5-inch thick organic chemistry textbook, which was heavy enough for bicep curls in the gym. He continued to stare at the hexagonal structure of the benzene molecule for no particular reason. I am not going to put us in danger. Come on, aren't you keen to find a killer too? Not if the killers use machine guns as a selfie prop, Saurabh said. At last the man speaks. Don't tell me you are not curious. Bye. It is not about being curious. It is about no wanting a dozen bullets pumped into my ass. You are going to investigate a terrorist organization, people who kill people for fun. I have no interest in their organization. I only want to know what happened to Sarah. Why? Saurabh said. his voice loud enough for the two faculty members to turn and look at us. Speak softly, I said. Get lost, he said. I am not going to talk only. I need closure, Golu. I never had that with Sarah. Even when she broke up, she cut off contact all of a sudden. Now when she wanted to get back, she is gone forever. With so many questions unanswered, I never got closure. Sorry, this closure you keep doing. What exactly is closure by? Forget it. I have never had a girlfriend, so I neither know nor have to deal with all this. Good only. You said you would help me. Head, remember. Bye, you better use your head or they will cut off your head. This isn't just about seeing the dean's wife in a nightie. This is Tarek-e-Juma. Tarek-e-Jihad, I said and smiled. Whatever, just hand over all the contents from the safe to Rana. Leave it up to him. Like he will do anything. He is happy to let Lakshman rot in jail. That is Lakshman's bad luck and the country's misfortune that this is how we solve cases. Nothing to do with us. Understand? How about this? We do eventually go to the police but investigate a bit more ourselves safely. How? I will tell you. Can you please eat the chole bhature first? I said, look, this bhatura is so fluffy. I stunned the plate of food toward him. Saurabh looked at the plate like he had found his missing child after several years. I didn't even have breakfast, Saurabh said. Why? To show you I am upset, Saurabh said and tore into a bhatura. He ate like a caveman, ripping the 10-inch long puffed fried bread to shreds in seconds. Never take your anger out on food, I said. What kind of investigation will tuition masters like us do? Anyway, Saurabh said, grabbing the second bhatura before he had finished the first. There is nothing big I plan to do. I just want to talk to Sikandar, his Sarah's family after all. The stepbrother, the one who probably carries around an AK-47 like a phone power bank. Let us just talk to him on the phone first. Hell, no bye. Once they know your phone number, they will come after you. We will call from that park sim. I am sure the contact S is him. Bye, Saurabh said and paused. What? Saurabh raised his hand, asking me to wait. 5 seconds later, he let out a loud burp. The two teachers looked at us in disgust. Charming, I said. Whatever I was saying, bye. You can give him a call. But for the record, I told you before, you are taking panga for no reason. We sat on the bed in my room, a quilt wrapped around each of us. How do you know S is him? Saurabh said. We will find out, I said. I dialed the number with a very ring. My heart beat a bit faster. Nobody answered the call. 10 rings later, I cut the call and shook my head. Dead end, Saurabh said. Yeah, no answer. And with that, the Sarah loan investigation ends. Good night, Saurabh said. He lay down flat in the bed and covered himself with the quilt. I will try one more time, I said. I dialed the number again. No response. Keep trying. Nobody will pick up, he said. Head under the quilt. Bye. Different topic. Did you try Tinder like I told you to? Apparently, you get laid for free. I ignored him and kept my phone aside. Go to your room and sleep, Saurabh, I said. No, bye. After all this talk of terrorists, I am not sleeping alone. Golu, look at your size. How you be scared to sleep alone? Saurabh didn't answer as he pretended to fall asleep. I switched off the phone and bedside lamp, lay down next to him and stared at the dark outline of the static ceiling fan above me. Thoughts flooded my head. Did I really not know Sarah? Had I been pinning for and idealizing a girl who was somebody else? Or did she change after our breakup? Did my parents' insult turn her into fundamentalist? Why would Sikandar hurt her, especially when she loved him so much? A few minutes later, guilt flooded through me. I thought about what Safdar had said, about how I didn't see Sarah's deep need for a stable family and how my family's lack of acceptance might have hurt her, confused and lost. I tried to grapple with all the what might have happened. The phone's loud ring interrupted my thoughts. Fuck, the Pakistani phone is ringing, Saurabh said. He sprang out from under the quilt and ran around the room as if someone had thrown a bucket of cockroaches on the bed. What do we do? Bye, he said. Relax, he is only calling back. On a Pakistani phone, he screamed, as if Pakistani phones could explode and kill you the moment you picked them up. I put a finger on my lips, signaling Saurabh to remain quiet. I took the call. Assalam alaikum, a man said on the other side. Hello, I said. I mean, Assalam alaikum. Sorry. Wa alaikum. Assalam. The man on the other end went quiet. Is it Sikandar? I said. Kon Janab, he said. You have called Sarah's phone, right? Who is speaking? Where did you get this phone? He said. I am Sarah's friend. What is your name? Keshav, I said. Saurabh raised both his eyebrows when I mentioned my name. I had to place my hand on his mouth so he wouldn't shout. Shh, I have to tell him, or else he won't talk. I whispered to Saurabh and went back to the call. I am Keshav, Sarah's friend. Is it Sikandar? We met you at the funeral. Did we? Okay. So it was Sikandar. You remember me, right? Sarah's Rajasthani friend. Appa mentioned you. She did? I said, wondering that Sarah had told him about me. How did you get this phone? Sikandar bhai, can we meet? I pressed Saurabh's mouth shut with my hand again because he had opened it to protest against the word meet. Why? Sikandar said. I had some questions regarding Sarah's death. What about it? The killer is in jail. The watchman didn't do it. I don't know anything about it. Let us just meet once. No, he said and cut the call. I released my hand from Saurabh's mouth. Saurabh stared at me with eyes wide open. What? I said. You want to meet a terrorist? He is part of Sarah's family. Anyway, he won't meet or talk. Good. I want us to reach a dead end. So you stop this murder case obsession and do what instead? Teach board students how to crack an impossible entrance exam. It is our job. Why? I picked up the Oppo phone and dialed Sikandar's number again. He picked up after 3 attempts. I said, I don't want to meet. Don't ever call me again, Sikandar said. My other option is to give everything I found at Sarah's house to the police, I said. Sikandar became silent. Saurabh waved his hand in the air to demand urgent attention. I muted the phone. What now? I said to Saurabh. You are threatening him, a terrorist, Saurabh said, panic in his voice. Relax, I said, and went back to the call. Are you there, Sikandar? Yes, he said. Sikandar, I have no interest in going to the police, and I have no interest in whatever work you do. I am talking to everyone in Sarah's life, only to find out who killed her. You think I would kill my appa, someone who meant so much to me? I never said that. I just want to meet you. We met her father too. We. Who else is there with you? Only my best friend Saurabh. Please. Not my name, Saurabh said loud and clear. So I had to shut his mouth with my hand again. Paharganj would make a great setting for a video game. Navigating the streets while remaining unhurt could be the challenge. Saurabh and I dodged auto rickshaws, cycle rickshaws, cows, donkeys, motorbikes, hawkers, and thousands of pedestrians as we made our way through the narrow bylanes. We finally reached our designated meeting place, the Namchand Pakoda shop, located between the Gadam Sharif shrine and the Shiv Mandir, an unintentionally secular location. Sikandar, in a light grey Patani suit, was already in the shop. He had grown a stubble, perhaps to make himself appear more grown up and to hide his rosy baby face. His legs bounced up and down as he looked from side to side, scanning every customer in the shop. He hadn't noticed us yet. Bye, we can still leave, Saurabh said. He could have a gun inside his kurta. He might kill us. Why would he do that? For everything that pisses him off. Like if we don't leave enough chutney for his pakoras. Anything. Chutney? We are going to eat pakoras here, right? This place is famous for them. I am going in, I said, shaking my head. I am here. What do you want to talk about? Sikandar said, as soon as I walked up to him. Before we begin, should we order some food? I said. Food would keep Saurabh busy and make him feel less scared. We ordered half a kilo of mixed pakoras along with 3 cups of sweet masala tea. The waiter brought our order in minutes. A sampler of gobi, aloo, onion, chilli and palak pakoras, all spicy and double fried. There can't be a tastier or unhealthier way of eating vegetables than pakoras. Sikandar didn't touch the food. Saurabh picked up one of each kind. You aren't eating, Saurabh said to Sikandar. Try some. When Saurabh is scared of someone, he begins to suck up to that person. We need your help. We are trying to solve Sarah's case, I said. He is. I am just tagging along, Saurabh said as he bit into a green chilli pakora. How can I help? Sikandar said. Weren't you close to her? I said. Appa was like a second mother to me. Did someone from Tehreek-e-Jihad kill her? Sikandar stood up at the mention of his organization. Saurabh turned and hid his face in my shoulder. I need to leave, Sikandar said. Why? I said. We just met. Sit down, please. Just 5 minutes. Sikandar looked unconvinced but sat back down. I moved a cup of tea towards him. He shook his head stiffly. Who told you about Tariq? Sikandar said. I thought you had no interest other than Appa. I don't. When did you last speak to Sarah? 3 days before he died. She called me. What did you guys talk about? None of your business. Brother and sister talk. Stepbrother, right, Saurabh said, a hot gobi pakora in his mouth. Sikandar glared at him. Step siblings can be really close too, Sikandar said. Of course, Saurabh said in his typical sucking up tone. Try something, Sikandar bhai. The chilli pakora is too good. Sikandar ignored Saurabh and turned to me. Appa just said she hadn't seen me for a while and that I should look for a proper job. What work do you do otherwise? I said. If you don't mind telling me. Just odd jobs. Sometimes in Delhi, sometimes in Srinagar. What kind of odd jobs? Loading trucks, helping Kashmiri merchants move stuff all across the country. That kind of things. Don't get upset. but are you connected to Tehreek-e-Jihad? I said, I don't want to answer that. Why do you care? All we want to know is if Sarah was connected to Tehreek. Tell me that at least, Sikandar. Not at all. So then I began, but Sikandar stood up again. What? I said. Why are you standing? He didn't answer. Instead, he took out a revolver. Saurabh's mouth fell open, even though Sikandar had not told us to. Saurabh raised both his hands up in reflex, a result of watching too many movies. One of his hands held an onion pakora. Sikandar bhai, we are just talking. What is the need? I said, keeping my tone as calm as possible. Shut up, Harami. Enough is enough. I know, Appa and your relationship ended long back. What is this jasusi you are doing now? He pointed the gun at my face. I felt like I was having a cardiac arrest. I spread my palm in a conciliatory way. I am sorry I upset you. I only want to talk. I am leaving. Don't follow me. Understand? The waiters, customers and the shop owners rose in their respective positions as Sikandar walked out of the shop. He reached the lane outside and shoved the gun back in his kurta pocket. Within seconds, he vanished into the Paharganj crowd. He is gone, I said to Saurabh. You can bring your hands down. Oh, Saurabh said, hands still up. Finish what is in your mouth. Saurabh swallowed and spoke again. What the fuck? Saurabh screamed. I have parents. Fuck. Keshav, I am never coming with you again. We take tuitions. We are not James Bond's nephews. We are fine. He is the coward who ran away. Screw him. You said, Kambi will just have pakoras. We would have turned us into pakoras. I signaled to the shop owner for the bill. It is okay, Sahib. Consider it free, the shop owner said, holding his breath until we left. Chapter 18. A week after the pakora fiasco, we sat in our living room watching a reality show on TV. Little girls in makeup danced to item songs. Saurabh's eyes were glued to the season finale. I surfed on my phone in between watching the program. Give me your phone, Saurabh said. I ignored him. Why do you watch this? I find such shows disturbing. I said, I still on my phone. I will tell you what is disturbing, Saurabh said, snatching my phone. What the hell, Golu? What were you doing on the phone? Nothing. Checking if my LinkedIn profile was up to date. There is nothing to update. We will have the same lousy resume. I thought maybe a new picture. Bullshit. Why do you have the Twitter screen on your phone? A little girl began to gyrate to Munni Vadnam Hui on TV. The judges and the audience cheered her on with thunderous applause. How is this shit legal? I said, ignoring Saurabh's question. Answer me by just, I said, keeping updated current affairs. I can see here you searched Tehreek-e-Jihad on Twitter. Did I? Saurabh switched off the TV. He came and sat on the coffee table to face me. The coffee table creaked as it bore a weight far beyond its capacity. Bye, I am super serious, Saurabh said, staring into my eyes like he was trying to hypnotize me. I looked down. You saw that psycho's gun. You will never touch this case again. I was just fooling around on my phone, searching for terrorist organization is fooling around. I become curious. See, we already know this. Sikandar is part of Tehreek. He ran away when I asked him about Sarah and Tariq. Saurabh put a finger on his lips. Shh, bye, I said. Listen to me. You are going mad? What? I said. Some shit happened. Terrorists killed Sarah. End of story. We will never think about this again. Never, ever. No more theories. No more analysis. Just wipe it from your head. How? I said. There is nothing else I can seem to think about. Nothing else I find meaningful in life or give a fuck about. Getting a new job? I shook my head. I do need a new job, but I don't give a fuck about it really. How about finding a new girl? Not in that frame of mind. One girl gave me enough pain. Tinder, bye. Pain-free love. Do you know, I had 2 matches on Tinder. You did. What happened? Nothing. They unmatched me when we chatted. What? Why? They said they valued honesty. I said fine. They asked me what I am looking for. I told them. What did you tell them? I said sex or anything physical. Even a hand job is okay. Saurabh said with a straight face. What? I said. You said what? I told you. I was honest. I burst out laughing. And then I said, they deleted me. Bitches. Honesty. My ass. Come here, my anything physical darling. I said, trying to bear hug him. Get off me and be serious. Saurabh said. I am serious, I said, while I continued to laugh. But seriously, even a hand job is okay. You actually said that? I will move out. Choose between the case and me, Saurabh said. What? I said. Laughter evaporated from my face. Either one of us spoke for a minute. Saurabh stood up from the table. I got my answer. I will leave this weekend, he said. What Sandy drama are you doing? I said. I pulled his hand to make him sit down again. What? He said and turned to me. Screw the case. I have already lost a lot. I can't lose you. Really, bye. You will do that for me. Don't fish now. Switch the TV back on. I want to see if that Munni Bednam girl wins. Enrollment was crashed. Unacceptable. Chandan said. The smell of pan masala, cheap colony and general obnoxiousness filled the room. Chandan had read an article in the Economic Times about the importance of weekly management meeting in corporates. He loved the idea, ignoring the fact that Chandan classes was a dictatorship and not a corporate. We now had to report on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, 2 hours before classes started. Chandan wore formal suit for this meeting. He looked like a South Indian movie villain's sidekick who had dressed up for his daughter's wedding. Everyone from the faculty to the peons to sexy Sheila hated the idea of this early meeting. Supremo, sir, Bridge Chaubey, a chemistry teacher, had said at the first meeting. We have really become professional, said Mohan or Pulli. Sir, a physics teacher, famous in Delhi for teaching one topic, pulleys, better than anyone else. Sucking up to Chandan Arora was an art form, literally for sexy Sheila and figuratively for the other faculty. They were far better at it than us. However, all the fake praise failed to lift Chandan's mood today. Look at the student numbers, dropped to 376 from 402 a quarter ago, he said when he made the R sound in dropped. A tiny speck of pan masala escaped his mouth and landed on the top of my wrist. Saurabh saw it and made a disgusted expression. He passed a tissue to me to express his sympathy. Mr. Saurabh, Chandan Arora said. Yes, sir. Saurabh said, sitting up straight. Please pay attention. Chandan said, I am paying, sir. What do you teach? I beg your pardon, sir. What subject? Chemistry. You hired me for that, sir. Tell me all the gas laws, Chandan said. The 8 faculty members present and Sexy Sheila gave each other awkward glances. Are you serious, Chandan sir? Yes, I want to know if my own people know their stuff or not. Boyle's law, Charles' law, Graham's law of diffusion, Avogadro's law and Dalton's law of partial pressure. You want me to explain each of them, sir? Saurabh said, no need. Chandan grounded, but explain why enrollment is down. It has to be the quality of teaching. Nobody said a word in response. I am cutting everyone's salaries 10, no 20% this month. Chandan said, what? I blurted out. Everyone looked at me shocked, as if I had told Hitler to his face that he had a funny mustache. Don't you understand? Business drops, your salary drops, Chandan said. You never increased our salary when enrollment rose. I mumbled, not loud enough for him to hear though. What did you say? Chandan said. Nothing, sir. Other coaching classes have opened. There are also online apps now to prepare for JEE. While we prepared children to face cutthroat competition, our own business wasn't immune to it. Are you selling Chandan classes? Are you telling students to bring their friends? That is the best way to get new students, Chandan said. We are faculty, sir. It doesn't look dignified, Saurabh said. What dignity? This is Danda. Mahanchod. You understand? Sexy Sheila blushed at Chandan's use of Delhi's official greeting. Maybe I imagined it, but I think seeing this alpha male side of her lover turned her on a little. Saurabh looked at me. I tried to telepathically tell him to stay calm. Chandan continued, and stop calling yourself faculty. This is not a university issuing degrees or diplomas. This is a coaching center. We teach students to clear an exam and we make money from it. Everyone around the table hung their heads low. Get out, everyone. This time it is a pay cut. If the numbers doesn't improve next quarter, I will fire people. Every faculty member must get 10 new students in every quarter. It is a must, Mr. Gaslow. You especially understand. Yes, sir, Saurabh said. I hate him, Saurabh whispered fiercely to me in the corridor. Can you get that jihadi to kill this gay? I laughed. I wish I could, but that chapter is closed. I chose my brother, I said, ruffling his hair. He responded. Saurabh said, yeah, in fact, she wrote to me first, I said. I stared at my phone, still trying to make sense of the Tinder app where I had found a match. You are lucky, bye. What is her name? Sony, I said. We lay in bed at home on a Saturday night. Saurabh had given me a Tinder tutorial, teaching me how to swipe and talk to the matches. Is this how people find love these days? I said. I thought about meeting Sarah at Randius. What would happen today? Would she have swiped left or right on my picture? Courtship is dead. Bye. Whatever you want, say and get it fast, Saurabh said. She just messaged. Hi, that is up, I said. That is good. She has initiated. Message her, Saurabh said. I replied with a hi. So you wanna meet? She replied. You have lucked out. Bye. She wants to meet so soon, Saurabh said when he saw my picture. Phone. Shall I say yes? I said. Of course, you have a date, I replied with a sure. I waited for the new love of my life to reply. She answered after 5 minutes. 1 hour. 5K. Includes BJ and one short straight. I turned the screen towards Saurabh. What? Saurabh said and read the message. Oh, professional. Sorry, bye. Unmatch her. She sounded like trouble. I unmatched Sonia and our love story ended within 6 minutes. I switched off the lights. Saurabh still wanted to sleep in my room. I am tired. Good night, I said to Saurabh in the darkness. Sure, good night, bye. But one thing. What? You think that Sonia would have bargained? I sat alone in the classroom, checking test papers after class. Saurabh came in and shut the door. What is the matter? I said. Chandhan gave me a warning. Saurabh said. Warning, I said, looking up from an answer sheet. I didn't get any new student. He cautioned me that I would lose my job if I don't bring in new students next month. I haven't brought in any either. In fact, I convinced one to leave. I said. You did? He wanted to study fashion. How can a person like that clear the JEE? Bye, Chandhan will kill you. Don't worry, I said. That student had paid the entire year's fee. Non-refundable. Chandhan won't lose money, but at least the student will not waste a year here. Vishwas, the peon at Chandhan classes, came into the classroom carrying a tray filled with cups of tea. We picked up one each. Vishwas, will you get some biscuits? Chandhan sir said. No more biscuits. Vishwas said. What? Why? I said. Cost cutting or something. Yeah, Malum. What he says. Vishwas said and left the room. He sipped our tea in silence, wondering how many days we had before Chandhan fired us. I resumed correcting the student's answer sheet. Saurabh spoke after a few minutes. Bye. I never wanted to become an engineer. I became one because my parents wanted me to. Serves me right for doing something I didn't believe in or felt passionate about. I made a face without looking up from the answer sheet in my hand. Can I say something? Saurabh said. Don't get too excited. What? I said. I missed the case. Sarah's case. I looked up at Saurabh. Yeah, it made me feel alive, like we were doing something that mattered. We had a purpose. Really? Like when I hacked Lakshman's phone or when I discovered Saxena has a limb. Yes, it is you who did all that. That is the big reason I left the case. I can't do it without you. I went back to my answer sheet. That jihadi put a gun to our face. That is what made me stop you, Saurabh said. Yeah, I know. Saurabh nodded and became silent. I started checking the last few test papers. Why were you searching Tehreek-e-Jihad on Twitter? I said, looking up from my answer sheet. Why are you talking about all that, Golu? I am just curious. Why Twitter? To find out about Tehreek and where Sikandar might be. These organizations often have an active Twitter presence. Okay, and what is the white powder? Did you find out? I put the cap on my pen and kept all the answer sheet aside. I looked into Saurabh's eyes. Seriously? Saurabh, what? No, I didn't find out. You stopped me from working on the case. Remember? And Sikandar's cell phone records. Rana can help us get those. They are you asking, bro? Saurabh slammed his empty teacup down on the desk. I don't know what is worse, the risk of the jihadi killing us if we work on the case, or us dying a slow death here at Chandan classes, Saurabh said and left the room. I woke up from my regularly recurring nightmare. Almost every night, I dreamed of Sarah struggling to release herself as her killer choked her with his hands. I checked the time. It was 3 a.m. Saurabh was awake. He was sitting next to me on my bed, working on his laptop. What are you doing? I said. Sikandar is in Srinagar. I can tell for sure, Saurabh said. I sat up. What? Who? Sikandar. There is a picture of him in a group. One of Thari's account posted it on Twitter. Looks authentic and recent. Wow, I said. As I looked at the picture, Sikandar and 6 other young men stood with a Tariq Jihad flag with mountains in the background. How did you find this? I said. I searched in Arabic, entering whatever was written on the biscuit card we found in this safe. Took me a while using Google Translate and going through dozens of accounts. But look, they posted this picture 2 days ago. I whispered, why? Why did they post this picture? No idea. No Golu. Why are you doing this? Why? It is the only meaningful thing I have in my life, and I think we are close. We shouldn't give up. You sure? Saurabh tapped his hand on his heart and nodded. Chapter 19. Where did you get this powder again? Rana said. Some kids in class. Do you know what it is? I had brought a spoonful of the white powder we found in Sarah's safe in a matchbox. Rana, Saurabh and I had come to Moonshine, a nightclub on the second floor of a building in Huskers village. At 10 in the night, the huge bar had only 15 customers. Things pick up at midnight. The manager had assured Rana when the latter lamented the lack of girls in the establishment. This is cocaine. Stop acting innocent. Are you using this? Rana said. No sir. Cocaine like drugs. I said. Yes, and these rich Huskers kids pay 7,000 rupees a gram for it. What? I said. Boys, I like you. But when it comes to drugs, I can't go easy. Tell me, where the hell did you get this from? I told you, some student in class, someone preparing for IIT and had cocaine. Nonsense. This is South Delhi. Not everyone who comes to our coaching center is serious about studies, Saurabh said. Anyway, we will expel him from the coaching class, I said. Inspector Rana nodded, though he is still looking unconvinced. You want a drink, sir? Saurabh said as the bartender came by. Yeah, rum and coke, large, for all of us. And bloody, why aren't there any woman here yet? Their dads didn't allow them tonight or what? Rana said. The bartender didn't answer. He prepared the 3 drinks and brought them to us. You haven't updated me on the case. That Kashmiri girl you are obsessed with, Rana said, taking a big gulp. Busy with work. Haven't had the time to pursue it, I said. Lost interest, eh? See how hard it is to investigate. I agree, I said. You met her father, the honor-killing angel? I am pretty sure he did it. These mullahs can do anything. We met him once, I said, and he has an alibi. He was at home preparing for Sarah's party the next day. Is that so? Rana said thoughtfully. He finished his drink, kept his glass down and let out a long, disgusting ah. Yeah, I said. So we are at a dead end. My heart beat fast. I had lied to a police officer I wondered that what would happen if Rana found out that we had concealed evidence. I ordered another drink for the inspector to distract him from noticing my nervousness. Are you sure you didn't get this powder from Lon? How did he get to so rich? That mullah could be a drug dealer, Rana said. I froze. I will lock him up for the rest of his life. If not for murder, then for drugs. You just tell me, Rana said, pointing a finger at me. No sir, Saurabh said, shaking his head. We don't know. Actually, I told Keshav to stop working on the case. Why? Scared. Yeah, Saurabh said, beating his lower lip, and we have to focus on your careers. Good. No point screwing around, Rana said. His phone beeped. I have to go. Something urgent came up. Another crime, sir? Saurabh said. No, it is my mother-in-law's birthday. I promised I would be home for dinner. I forgot. I didn't even buy her a gift. Bloody mother and daughter are going to nag me and chew my head all night. The flushing sound made it impossible to talk for a few seconds. That is 7 lakh gone down the toilet. Literally, we could have sold it, Saurabh said. Things are bad career-wise, but we haven't reached the drug dealer stage yet, I said, washing my hands. Isn't the IIT dream a drug too? It is, but it is legal. Organic chemistry books at home are fine, but if anyone found 100 grams of cocaine in our house, we go in for 10 years. We came out of the toilet. What next? Saurabh said. Like I said, I will go to Srinagar. I won't take any risk, but will try to find out whatever I can. And what do I do? Stay here. Like I said, no unnecessary risk. You can help me analyze the case from here. How can I let you go there alone? I will be fine. We will be in constant touch on phone. We sat on the sofa and switched on the TV. The film Toy Story was playing and we began watching. In one scene, Woody and Buzz Lightyear, two toys who are best friends, have a fight, but both miss each other immensely. The song You Have Got a Friend in Me played in the background. Eventually, the two animated best friends make up and give each other teary bear hugs. Saurabh wiped his eyes and turned to me. I am coming, Saurabh said. What? But I said, no more ifs and buts. I am coming to Kashmir. I will do all the bookings too. But Golu, they say Kashmir is heaven on earth, right? Currently I am in Chandhan classes. Hell on earth. Almost anything would be better. It is done. I am coming. Saurabh seriously decided. I looked at Saurabh. His fat round face made him look like a Pixar teddy bear. I love you, I said. If someone murdered me, will you also solve my case like this? I would tell the murderer to kill me instead, I said. Saurabh blushed. I laughed. You say these stupid Sendhi lines and I agree to do stupid things like this trip to Kashmir, Saurabh said. Leave, what is that? Chandhan Arora said. He spat out an overchewed slurry of pan masala and saliva into special purpose dustbin. We sat opposite him, across the desk in his office. His eyes oscillated between Saurabh and me in quick succession. Holiday, sir, I said. Saurabh and I want to go on a holiday together. He looked at us as if we had asked him to will us his entire property. What do you need a holiday? Chandhan said. And both of you together. What will happen to your classes? It will be like an offsite for us. To figure out what we can do to build enrollment, Saurabh said, and we spoke to other faculty members for substitution. This is peak time, Chandan shouted, loud enough for sexy Sheila to look up, starry-eyed, from her keyboard. We will ensure there is no disruption, sir, I said. I don't care. What about new students? What are your numbers? Numbers, I said. The student you brought in. Your referrals. So far, since you told me in that meeting, Saurabh said. Chandan nodded. I would say 0. More or less, Saurabh said. 0. See. And you want a holiday? We will come back and meet our target, sir, I said. Where are you planning to go? Srinagar. Kashmir? Yes, sir. Why? You want to die? No, sir, I said. It is a full state. Millions of people live there. All terrorists? That is incorrect, sir, I said. But why Srinagar? What are you? Some honeymooning couple? Saurabh and I kept quiet, unable to come up with a response. He took our silence as tacit acceptance. Really? Are both of you? What do they say? Section 377? Sir, no, I said, as Saurabh gaped. He had no idea what section 377 was. So, why are you going to Srinagar? Where are you staying there? Shelter houseboats, sir, Saurabh said. You are staying in a houseboat? Seriously? This is a honeymoon, isn't it? Sexy Sheila became alert at the mention of the word honeymoon, even though she pretended to print invoices. Perhaps she dreamt of the day Chandan would leave his wife and take her to a place far away, where nobody taught anybody, to prepare for JEE. I hadn't known about our accommodation arrangements. I turned to Saurabh. Why are we staying in a houseboat? It is cheap. Good reviews. Well located, safe. I booked it. We are going to be sharing a room in a boat, I said. You told me somewhere central, Saurabh said. This is right in the city on Jhelum River. Chandan Arora laughed. This is what happens, Sheila madam, when boys can't get girls. He winked at her. Yes, the lady killer had spoken. His invoice maker plus lover smiled coyly. Sir, we are not a gay couple. It is okay even if you are. There are yoga exercises to cure you. Cure, I said, wondering what exactly those exercises could be. Sir, we are not gay. Even though there is nothing wrong in being gay, I said. You don't need to hide your secret from me. Chandan sir, we want to go on leave for 2 weeks. What we do? There is none of your concern, I said. Chandan looked somewhat upset by my defiance. He opened a file and pretended to work. You can't go. Peak season. I need all hands on deck, he said, without looking up at either of us. Sir, we haven't taken any leave in 2 years, Saurabh said. Neither have I. Chandan comes to Chandan every day, Chandan said, speaking about himself in third person twice in the same sentence. That is good, sir, but we are going for 2 weeks, and you won't have a problem with it, I said. Chandan looked at me surprised. I signaled for him to come closer. He leaned forward. Unless you want us to ask Mrs. Chandan Arora, I whispered. What? He said, his mouth distorted. We know, Sheila ma'ams and you. You guys don't even need a houseboat. Your office enough, I said. His face turned from dark brown to apple red to dark purple in a matter of seconds. Chandan was at a loss for words. So our leave begins Monday. Okay with you, sir, I said. Yeah, he said, mouth still not working properly. Sheila Please add their vacation days in the system. Thank you, sir, Saurabh said. We stood up to leave. Dry fruits are famous in Kashmir. You must try them, Chandan said as we left his office.